can't stop, won't stop. Take that, yeah, daddy. I feel violated now. I'm violated. But anyway, he penetrated. Pause. He kept putting himself on everybody's song. As a result of him being on everybody's song, he's charging the artist that he signed to be on their song. Then he charged the artist again to be in a music video. And he charged the artist again to be in a recording studio, because you did record it in my studio. Then he charged the artist. I was just like, oh my God. 'Tis the time again. Let's get it. Welcome to another episode of the Mad Lucrative Podcast. I'm the host, the one and only Magneto7 in the building. What's poppin'? This episode is brought to you by Crunch Fitness. Listen, if you need to exercise, which a lot of us need to exercise because you just got fat. We've been eating all winter. I started feeling the way, didn't I? Started feeling the type of way. Everybody, we need to go work out. But anyway, if you are in the Roswell, Alpharetta, Milton area and you need to go to the gym, go to Crunch Fitness. Tell them Magneto7 sent you. And if you're watching this on YouTube, make sure you click on the promo code. I got a little discount for you. It's a little discount for you because we need to work it. Work it. We need to do that. But anyway, listen, this has been an enlightening week. Shouts out to everybody that was over on Instagram and on TikTok. What's popping? T. Scott was going on. Jerome was popping. Bird was popping. Mr. Kirk, I think that's what your name was popping. Bright the MC has been rocking with me on Patreon. What's up? And I don't know who else this is. Whoever this is whoever here is here with you. Who is this? MLK, go crazy. What up? MLK. Hey, I'm going to make everybody that's on the Patreon, I'm gonna make a nickname for y'all, at least the first 100 of y'all. We almost at 100. Listen, if you're watching this on YouTube, subscribe to the Patreon. I got something special for you over there. It ain't just a podcast, it's a lot more. Before y'all look at this show, it's a whole 30 minutes before you actually see this show hit YouTube. I'm just letting y'all know. And they get it first. And they in the live first. I'm just saying. So, I feel like I need to play Boys of Men. What up, Mr. Lee? What's popping? Daddy Max said, what's popping? I feel like I need to play Boys to Men this week. It's so hard to say goodbye because I think Diddy he's done. In my book, Puff is done. It's a wrap. It's over. It's over. It's over. It's done. I'm done. What up, Pastor Savage? What up? So look, I was watching the Diddy doc. And I was... Today is gonna be a hard pod. I ain't gonna front. You know when you believe in certain people, and you just be like, yo, like you've been a pillar of our community. You have meant so much to entrepreneurship and black people and people getting to the next level. You are the Mr. Can't Stop, Won't Stop. He was the Can't Stop, Won't Stop. He was the bad boys come out to play. Oh no. He was also the team No Sleep. We gonna get it done. You know what? I'm disappointed in Diddy. So if y'all did not know, y'all have been living under a rock. What up, K? What up, the real KS? What's poppin' with you? But if y'all been living under a rock, the Diddy doc has came out. Shouts out to 50 though. Shouts out to 50. And this is the thing, and we're gonna talk about this. So if you watch this on YouTube, this whole show, this particular whole episode is gonna be Puff. I might throw a little business in there towards the back end, just a little bit of business on the back end. I'm glad you watched it. Hold up, I got Reggie. Reggie, when I finish the other podcast studio, you got to come do a sit down, and we're gonna revisit this conversation. But you can chime in on the chat, chime in. But this is what I'm looking at, right? Puff and Diddy. Puff and Diddy. Secondly, hold up. Before we go in, no Glizzy and no Puff. And no Diddy and no Glizzy. Both of them at the same time. But if you were to analyze 50 Cent and you were to analyze Diddy, they move a lot alike. And honestly, some of the things that Puff was doing, minus the my booty was hurting when I woke up the next morning. I was like, I don't know about that. Yo, my boy said I woke up the next morning and my booty was hurting. I said, You know what you was doing, boy. You knew it went inside of that booty. But outside of that stuff, a lot of the things that Puff, a lot of the stuff that Puff and that 50 does, I agree with. Unfortunately, and maybe that's the petty Scorpio nature. That might be the petty Scorpio nature. I got to deal with that. I need therapy. But anyway, some of the stuff I think the bodyguard was like, if anything ever happened to Puff, he never forgets. I was like, of course, you never should forget, so you don't repeat the thing, duh. But then the way he was getting off on a lot of just weirdo stuff, taking people girls, it's like, oh my God. Like, I honestly, everybody that Puff is wrong, I wanted to go smack him in the face. Every time. And that, oh my God, I'll be sure. He was a stand-up gentleman. I'll be sure he was just an artist. He was just an artist doing artist stuff. Jesus. But anyway, some of the petty I agree with, but a lot of the other activities he had going on, it's a no-go for me. Oh yeah, we do have to talk about Warner Brother and Netflix deal. We got to talk about that. But we're talking about Puff for now. So to start out, I watched the Puff doc, and there was a lot of footage that was on the rise. The main thing that I was starting to think of first was, how did 50 get his hands on the freaking footage? Because money, this is for all my people that might not be on that level. I'm not there yet, but I've seen and been around people that is on that level. What they do is this. They'll have a nice nest egg of bread, right? If they are the super competitive type of people like Puff or like 50, if they super competitive, they're going to do anything by any means to squash you like a little bug. They're going to say, okay, he's going to be where? He's going to do what? He rock with who? Where's house at? Like the whole thing with 50 said, what was it? I think it was on Many Men. Don't think you all right because you don't think you all right because you moved out the hood because your mama's still there, homie, and that ain't good. That means you can do something. That means you have some intent on delivering on some promise, right? So I was just looking like, okay, I know people can get the footage. It's very easy for people to get the footage, but on this level, it just gets weird. It just gets weird. So nevertheless, I want to go ahead and start some of the clips that I've saved. And I got notes. I rarely sit and watch movies to take notes. I take notes for this type of stuff so I can have a real point of reference. And then I put other dates and other things together and just kind of compile some type of story around what I just finished watching. So nevertheless, let me bring Diddy's bodyguard. Let me bring him to the stage. And this is the thing. He never liked to pay people. This mother effer. He just didn't pay. He just was like, I'm going to use you as a resource and I'm never going to pay you. Like, that ain't cool, bro. It ain't cool. But nevertheless, let me bring Puff's bodyguard to the stage. I think he had a lot of valid points. But if anybody is wondering how 50 got the footage, this is how he got the footage. All right, let me let him play. We're gonna talk.
This your boss. Yo, man, how 50 get? Blah blah blah. Yo, Puff, take this self doing that. Let me explain something to y'all. All right, whether it's
everybody that might be watching this on this camera, I'm sorry for the playback. You might have to come to Patreon or go over to YouTube. I'm live right now over there.
NDAs, whether it's whatever. When these young boys come in, first of all, he only deal with young videographers because he want to rob them, and he know that they want
the real term is videographer, sir. Videographer, not videographer. It's videographer. But yeah,
opportunity to follow Puff Daddy, P Diddy. They want that opportunity, so they get him at a low price anyway. But When you stay out so many hours a day, Puff wants a videographer with him 24 hours a day on call.
Okay, wait. Let me do some math right quick. He said Puff wants a videographer, and I'm assuming that's in LA. How much does a videographer, not videographer, how much does a videographer cost in LA? Not Los Angeles. Not Las Vegas. Yes, Los Angeles. All right. So right now, the going price for a videographer is roughly $1,500 to $4,000 per event. And let's say that Puff's days was one event. Let's say that, because I'm gonna charge you for an event if I gotta be around you for 24 hours, 12 hours a day. I'm gonna charge you as if it's a full event. So let's say he's getting about a happy medium would be $2,000. I think a happy medium would be $2,000 a day. So if you're getting $2,000 a day times 30, that's $60,000 that you should be paying per month. All right. I'm sure he wasn't gonna pay that.
We on a yacht, whether we on a ship, wherever we at, he wants to videotape that, right? So now they come to agreement. They come to whatever the pay is gonna be. But then it be so many hours on that invoice that he don't want to pay.
Yep.
He gets in touch with the office. He gets in touch with the chief of staff. Yo, what is this I'm paying? What is this I'm paying? You know what you paying. You was outside all of these hours. It's 160 something hours in a week. You was outside 140. That's the invoice he put in.
Right.
So now, being if you got a contract and he don't stand to that contract, guess what happens? He could do whatever he want to do with that footage. So now that footage goes to the highest bidder.
Facts.
And 50 had to be the highest bidder to get there. Yo, this is business. You know what I'm saying? Everybody ain't in love with you. Everybody ain't dedicated. Everybody ain't loyal to the point of stupidity. Trust me.
So all right. So now, if y'all ever want to know, that's how 50 got the footage. That's how 50 got the footage. He was paying somebody to do the video work per day and never paid out. Well, he hired somebody to do the video work per day, but never paid them out. So that's how he got the footage. If y'all were wondering, he didn't steal it. I ain't gonna front. I thought that Netflix bought the footage and then 50 put the other stuff to it and made a full documentary. So shouts out to Home Coffee for sending me that. He did not steal the footage. He bought it from the original person that created. Now this is another thing. All of my people that's graphic designers, all of the people that might follow me, that might be videographers, that might be photographers, whatever you do in the creative space. This is why it's so important to have a way to present some type of documentation for the art that you create. You don't want to just have music or just pictures or anything just floating. This is something else. We have diluted the significance of art so little that you don't even realize, no, this is an actual thing that you have to pay for. You got to pay for it. If somebody, case in point, this is a perfect example too. I'm going to use me as an example. For this is probably a few events that we did. We hired a videographer, not videographer, because that is the hood way to say it. That is not right. Not videographer. We hired a videographer to come shoot some stuff with us. Hold on, let me take this off. All right, there we go. But we hired a videographer to come shoot some stuff for us. One for a music video. The other thing was for a stage play, and the other thing I can't remember. But anyway, at the end of the day, all of those people got half of their money up front, and then the other half came when they delivered the product to me. But guess what? One thing they can say, they never be able to say Mag ain't never pay them. Everybody knows I've paid them, and I be giving these Negroes lunch. I paid and give you lunch and bought camera stuff. And like, we invest into the people that we believe in, right? Real invest into them, not invest into them with some type of leverage or some type of nasty back end. Like Diddy was doing some nasty stuff. So anyway, that's all of my arts people. Please make sure you have a way for people to pay you. Make sure you are a stickler for all of the things that you provide for folk. Because this is something else. There's a infamous picture of Cameron with the pink coat on, like the pink fur that he had back in the day. It's an infamous picture. Cam used that picture for, I think, an album cover or something like that. They never paid the photographer for that picture. The photographer, even though it's a picture of Cam, the photographer owns the picture. The person that shot the footage owns the footage. You got to pay these folk for that stuff. Same thing with producers. Producers, stop being out here with the stupid stick. Y'all have been doing too much stuff. Yeah, bro, I'm just going, man. I'm gonna come out. I'm gonna come over there and we gonna catch a vibe. No, don't come over to my space and catch no vibe. We're not catching no vibes. It is not a vibe. What's the business look like? What does the business look like? All of these, y'all been, again, I said this last week too. I said it last week. Y'all have been doing too much kumbaya and vibing. I'm gonna just come over there and smoke out. No. When it comes to the art is the art. Let the art be the art. If you want to do some leisure stuff, some leisure activity, do that in another space. But when it comes to the studio, this is the workroom. We working in here. And that's another reason why I'm kind of funny about people coming to smoke. I don't have an issue with nobody that smokes, right? You smoke whatever you smoke. Like, listen, I'm gonna give you a clap because that means you know how to decompress. That means you know how to decompress. But when it comes to the music, when it comes to the art, that's why these white, I'm gonna just say it. That's why these white folk be looking at y'all like niggas. This is exactly why white folk be looking at y'all like, oh, look at these niggas. Oh, they ain't gonna. And that's how poverty music was birthed. That's how my meaning of poverty music, that's how all of this stuff was birthed. If you're gonna treat your art as if it's a leisure activity, as if it's something that you can just freestyle your way through life, and then you want me to pay you for the freestyle? You're not Jay-Z. You're not Wayne. Because this is all of my new artists. I think this is what y'all don't realize, and we're going to get back to Puff, but I think these are some intricate parts that we could pick out of the Puff story. When it comes to Wayne or when it comes to Jay, y'all have to look at the full history of a person before you try to start doing what they're doing now. The history of a Wayne and the history of a Jay, they wrote bangers before you started hearing about them freestyling and punching records. They were ridiculous with the pen. They had multiple ways to do certain things. And this is, I think, the smart thing, or the smart part of being an artist is learning and adapting, right? So I do understand that when new artists start to see, oh, Wayne freestyled or Jay freestyled this and they did that and blah, 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 right? Y'all naturally want to do what they did. I get it. But if you have no track record of producing results and you have no track record of producing hits, and you have no track record of being able to go out on stage with those freestyle records and perform to an audience and kill the performance. If you have no history in doing none of that, take your A over there and talk it to your phone and let that mother effer let it do a transcript on everything you just said and learn your songs. Learn how to do stuff, because I do believe that something different happens when an artist gets focused and start to write records. I think a few things happen. The first thing that happens is you start to get organized. You start to understand this is what a 16-bar verse looks like. A 16-bar verse means I'm probably going to have 2 sentences per line, and it's going to create me a 16-bar verse. I need 8 of those. And then you're going to say, oh, I need a hook. A hook is going to be 8 bars. And then you're going to start to build structure. But if you bypass all of that, if you bypass all of that as an artist, you like, yo, and that's why we got people that's out here brokies making music for nobody. That's why we got so many people that's making music for nobody. And then you get mad when people don't support. They're not supporting you because you're not good. Please let that be your thumbnail. Let that be your reel for the rest of the week. They are not supporting you because you're not that good just yet. Keep going, big dog. Jeez Louise. Anyway, let me get back to the Diddy story. So that's how Fifth acquired the footage. Something else that came out on the documentary was how Puff when he was forming Bad Boy, he gave his mom 75% of Bad Boy. And then he gave his partner 25%. Okay, now I get it. I'm willing to do 75-25 if this Negro ain't doing the work. If he's not doing the work and it's just somebody I rock with, all right, cool. I could get that. I understand that. But the fact that you come back years later after you got it popping and you say, give me the whole 25 back. Give me the whole 25. And then the fact that you got everything in your mama's name, let me know that you was already on some, as my New Yorkers say, you already on some fugazi stuff off the rip. So that was something nasty. Something else that stuck out. If we start going back over the history of Puff going into P. Diddy, that's around that whole making a band era, right? I ain't gonna front. I was probably like a lot of y'all. I was the same way. That whole Cheesecake Factory run was fire. Matter of fact, I'm gonna give him a clap for that. That was fire. The way that Puff went in and started doing work with MTV and they developed the making the band and all this stuff, that was fire. That was fire. But what wasn't fire is how he intentionally, I repeat, he intentionally set those deals up to be predatory. I don't like what Andre Harrell told him. And again, if y'all have not watched the doc, I might be talking around a whole lot. Y'all just got to go watch the doc. It's a lot to watch. But something that stuck out when he said Andre Harrell told him the artist should never be as big as the artist should never be as big as the exec, or the artist should never be as big as the label, or it's something like that, what he said. And the fact that Puff, if we look at the paper trail, has intentionally made all of the artists to be the and then. He's always made the artist decide. He's always been the main course. He's always made the artist be the person that, I'm going to act like I'm promoting you. But in actuality, I'm just using you to stay hot so I can get my business more money. And I might pay you something. You want to do some shows? And this is, again, this is something else. Bright said, it's good to keep receipts. Yep. Oh, bruh. Oh, my God. So when I was signed, and I learned this stuff quick. I learned this after my first publishing deal. I learned this immediately. Right after my first publishing deal, I was like, So when I was signed to a particular label, very big label too, by the way, very, very, very big label, legacy label. But when I was signed over there, they gave me my little advance. That advance meant a lot to me at the time because I was broke. I needed money, right? Took the advance. And then they started sending emails and they started sending newsletters and say, look, we got a writer's camp. I wish I could stretch the screen in like that. He said, we got a writer's camp and, Mag, you're invited. Everybody that's over here, that this person done work with Rihanna, this person done work with Beyonce, this person done work with Kanye. And this is when I met DJ Toomp. This is when I met S1. This is when I met Ty Dolla $ign. All of us was signed to this particular label at the same time. Well, after the conference, which the conference was cool. They had everything catered. The only thing that I had to pay for was my flight to New York and my flight back home. Outside of that, they had everything squared away, right? Right? They had everything squared away. So I think y'all know where this is about to go. I'm going to different studio sessions, hopping in New York, making some waves. So I thought I was making some waves. And I get back home. 3 months later, I get a royalty statement. And they say, oh, well, you owe us an additional $6,000 for the week that you stayed in New York. I said, wait. I owe you $6,000. Wait, hold on. Wait. They said You owe us $6,000, and we're gonna tack that in. We're gonna tack that on to the first half of the money that we gave you as an advance. So I said, wait, okay, wait. I thought y'all were paying me. Listen, Bright. That was the fastest lesson I've ever learned. I learned that lesson so fast. They said you owe us the $6,000, and you owe us I think it was like $28,000 or $30,000 for the upfront money. So you owe us technically $36,000 plus the interest. So I was like, wait. I thought y'all invited me. You invited me to the writers camp. How you gonna charge me to something you invited me? Okay, all right. Yo, that was the first lesson that I learned so quick. I learned that lesson so fast, and that's what let me know the music business is technically a Ponzi scheme. The only part of the music business that works is if you're okay with constantly taking loans out against your catalog. The other thing that I've learned, that if you're okay with the music business the way it is, then you're going to be okay with selling your catalog. Now, I'm okay with selling the catalog if we talking about I did a certain body of work, and let's say they offer me $300 million, they offer me $100 million for a catalog. Okay, cool. I'm okay with taking that because I got so much other stuff already set up, from podcast studios to investments to 401k plans to growth stock mutual funds. I got a lot of other things in other places where I would be okay taking that $100 million in my 40s. I would be okay with doing that. But if you're in your prime working age, why would you take a deal? Why would you take a deal where it says, okay, we just want to make sure that you can recoup? And if you get into the studio with all these people, this documentary should have exposed so much stuff as it relates to music business in general. In music business in general, this documentary exposed so much stuff. So if you never knew this, when it comes to music business, everything is based off of a loan unless they purchase a catalog. If they purchase the catalog, they're never paying you on the back end. I'll say it again. What up, everybody? What up, T-Shack? If they purchase the catalog, they're never paying you on the back end. It's a wrap. You blew the smoke and it's gone, right? But if you take a publishing deal, anytime you say deal, 360 deal, publishing deal, any of these deals, they're going to assume some percentage of ownership unless you buy them out. That's why you got all these people that say, look, well, we need to make sure you can buy your masters. You need to buy your masters back. Well, if you buy your masters back, that means you sold them at some point. At what point did you sell the masters? I'm glad you asked. At what point did you sell the masters? You sold your masters as soon as you bought that deal. As soon as you went to the studio, as soon as you said, hey, I've been doing all this work online, but I just need some bread. I need some bread right now. As soon as you did that, you sold your masters. As soon as you did that. Unless you go to like what was it, E1? What was the other label? I think that's who Saha said he was going through with Ghazi and them. I can't remember the label right now. But anyway, at that point, now it's a true partnership, because what that means is I know off the rip, I'm helping you as a label build your catalog by me delivering some music to you. That catalog that we produce, we will forever be in business together, because that's what the name of the deal was. We did a real joint venture. But this stuff, when y'all say, yo, we did a joint venture, yeah, I did a partnership. Y'all sound stupid. You did not do a partnership. Stop saying that. It's just you did not do a partnership. That's not a partnership what y'all did. What you did is sold some A. What you did is you did it yourself. You did it yourself. Reggie said made the deal. And this brought me to the next point, because all of us keep hearing about Puffy not paying artists, right? And after watching this documentary, that whole Suge Knight thing makes a whole lot more sense. You don't want to see your executive producer all in the videos, dancing all on the stage. Uh, when Suge Knight said that, it makes all the sense now. I'm like, oh, okay, I get it now. But the fact that Puff, watch this, and this is the cold thing. The cold thing is what he did. Some of it I actually agree with. I agree with a lot of the stuff that he did, but the way he did it was nasty. How he penetrated. Pause. No. Let it breathe. Let it breathe. But Pop kept going in and out, penetrating. All right. No Glizzy, no Diddy. But he kept inserting himself, there's another one, into everybody's albums. He kept saying, yo, I'm gonna feature on your songs. I'm gonna bless the song, son. I'm gonna bless the song, son. And then he talks on the beginning of the record. Now, technically, and this is the thing, he should be charging and he should be compensated for being on an artist's album. Exactly. Be Lamont. Can't stop, won't stop. Can't stop, won't stop. Take that. Yeah, daddy. Oh, put all of his phrases together. Oh, can't stop, won't stop. Take that. Yeah, daddy. I feel violated now. I'm violated. Ew. All right. So he kept putting himself on everybody's song. As a result of him being on everybody's song, he's charging the artist that he signed to be on their song. Then he charged the artist again to be in a music video. And he charged the artist again to be in a recording studio, because you did record it in my studio. Then he charged the artist. I was just like, oh my God. This nigga. I said I wasn't going to say no inbounds on YouTube. This mother effer. Like, what are you doing, my bro? Oh my God. So the fact that he has done the same thing over and over, year after year after year, and has been getting away with it. As an outsider, and this is before I can say that, yeah, we talking about 1990. When did Big come out? When did Big and the Craig Mack stuff come out? Let me look it up right quick. I don't remember that. I love ChatGPT. I used to want to have a person to come in the studio and do some fact checking for me. But after this, it's like, no, I'm good. We did Biggie drop? Okay, so Juicy came out in 2004. So that means I was in the 4th grade. All of my 83 babies, don't it feel good to be like me? Like all of your grade years landed on the numbers. So it's like I was in 4th grade in 1994, like that type of stuff. Anyway, so Juicy came out in 2004. So yeah, I wasn't nowhere near thinking about producing at the time. I was just being a musician. So the fact that Puff has started doing this all the way back in the Biggie time, that's wild to me. That's just wild to me, yo. I can't see it. I can't see it. So let's put everything together, class. Let's put all of these things together. And again, go watch the documentary, because I'm probably not gonna do any justice. I think this documentary is so good. You can watch it multiple times and then look at it from different viewpoints and start getting something different every time you watch it. It's that good. All right, so another one. When he started doing the Making the Band stuff, and this is what I said on last night's live. I said he kept taking the deal. He kept taking the check. What I meant by that is, when you are a boss, as you say, if you say you're a boss, right? Some bosses take losses, right? Right? I feel like Puff never took the loss. Why? He always got bailed out. He always got bailed out of any situation. When they said, what was the record before Juicy? It was whatever the record was that was before Juicy. They said it didn't deliver as good. They thought that record was going to be competing with Pop. And the stuff that the way that he was looking at Pac, I feel like, I was like, yo, you trying to Diddy Pop too? You're trying to Diddy Pac. My guy, you need to, he need to be controlled. He needs to be controlled. But they said that he was trying to compete with the female record that Pac put out when they did Juicy. Okay, in a normal business environment, that's how things should work. You should see your competitor. You should see your competitor. Oh, he said party and bullish. All right, so that was, was that the record? I don't know if that was the record or not. Do you remember how Diddy was networking on the show? We're gonna get to that part. That's what we're gonna get to. Puff kept taking the check. Anytime anything fell, Puff went and took the check. Clive Davis, I blame you. Andre Harrell, this whole mindset, I blame you. The whole DV situation, I blame the mama. Because this is something that we have to really address. Where we stay, where we have our soil, right? We have a certain perspective as it relates to the people that we consider uber rich, uberly successful. We have a certain perception of those people, right? Now, if I know some people from where I'm from might call me uberly successful because I've reached a certain level. But for me, I'm nowhere near Tyler Perry yet. Tyler Perry, you know what? I'm learning with these podcasts. If you just think it, don't say it. Don't say it. Just don't say it. But anyway, Puff had that situation. He had what was it? It was something before making the band. I think that was that whole 112 days and all that stuff. Well, if he started to see the decline in trying to find artists, I thought it was dope that he went over to MTV, got a check, and started making the band. But I feel like that should have been the extent of him stopping to take the check. Because if you got the check, think about it. Think about this. He got the check to start Bad Boys. If you look at this, if you look at anything like that in 2025 and beyond, 2026 and beyond, ain't nobody gonna give you no check to start no label. Nobody's giving you a check to start a label. They might give you some seed money to do a certain thing, but they're not gonna give you a whole $10 million to go put behind this artist that you believe in. They don't care that much, right? So take that out the equation. He kept getting that check. When he gave the money to, and I think that was on the Big documentary. But when he gave Craig Mack the box of McDonald's, and both of them had the McDonald's boxes, and I'm kind of mixing up the docs, but you'll get it in a minute. He gave them, I think it was $35,000. What a home coffee? I think it was $35,000 in the McDonald's box. Both of them had it, right? After that, think about all of the publishing. Think about all of the royalties. Now, again, technically, you could do whatever you want to do when you're a label owner. You can do whatever you feel like doing. If I say, I want to go back here and get some of this strawberry Coke, Quaaludes, if you say you want to do all of that, you have the ability to do anything that you want to do technically. But should you be doing it? Should you be doing it? So now fast forward it. Again, we glorified making a band. Keep in mind, the making a band stuff was a spinoff of Real World. They just added music to it. That's how I saw that. Real World was popping. They did the spinoff of Real World. They added music to it. They put Diddy on the show. Voila, we got a hit, right? Cool. Nobody ever vetted what was going on over there, though. Notice that. Nobody ever vetted what was going on over there. And this is where I would have to hold some of the networks responsible. Whoever was over there at Viacom, because I had a situation with Viacom years ago, and it never did that, though. It never did that, those Diddy numbers. But whoever was over there should have said, okay, we know that the show is good and they did the album. How does Puff treat the artist? Like, I know what he does on camera. I think it's funny. It's entertaining. But how does he actually treat the artist? Has anybody ever done it? And this is what the network should have done. can we go over and just like go in, just pop up in a studio session and see how our investment's going? They never did that. They never did. I'm gonna tell you how I know they never did that. I'm gonna tell you exactly how I know they never did that. They said he produced Making a Band. That was his success. Then he did Danity Kane off of the next show, and then he did I can't remember the boy group, whatever the boy group was he created. All of these groups, all of these mother effing groups, he produced all of these albums on they money. And then while he's producing those albums, guess what he did? He said, "Oh, I'm gonna take this money. I'm gonna put this is my money right here. I'm gonna put this in my pocket. I like you. Wait, Don, I like you. Come over here. Aubrey, you're done. You're done. No, you're done. That was an MTV thing. This is a me thing. You do it." And he's developing day 28, day 26. That's right. That's day 26. He's taking artists from the show and developing a whole nother album. He said, well, they got Danity Kane. I got Dirty Money. I would have sued the F out of him if I was Viacom. They should have sued the brakes off of that man. Because that's what you call a non-compete. You cannot have anybody doing the same type of work in your space and developing the same thing that you're selling to me. Let me try to simplify it a little bit more. Let me try to conflict of interest. Let me try to simplify it a little bit more. Let's say, and producers do it all the time. This is why I don't be liking y'all. That's why, and when people ask what I do, I don't even say I produce. I say I'm a building contractor. I'm a licensed contractor. I'm dead serious. It takes people to come over to my house or find me on the internet to know all of the other stuff that I do. But up front, when I meet people, I never tell them that I do music. I never tell them I'm classically trained. I don't say none of that. No, I'm a licensed building contractor. I can put you in contact with some people that can do some work. We do real estate. Thank you, Reggie. Thank you, Reggie. We do real estate. Because this is the thing. All of the other people in other industries know that the way music business works is nasty. Everybody else knows it. If you talk to people that's in the banking industry and you say that you're an entertainer, they're going to look at you like a smut. They're going to look at you like smut. Oh, okay. How's that going? Starving artist, huh? That's why they do that. That's exactly, if you go to, and y'all know I ain't lying. Y'all know I'm not lying. If you go to anybody in any other industry and you say that you do music, they're going to look at you like, boy, if you don't get out my face, unless you can say, I got a Grammy for doing music. Unless you can say, I'm a professor of ... school of ... and I do music like this. Or you can say, I did Hamilton. Like you have to have accomplished something to say that you do something. And honestly, I feel like we need to get back to that again. I feel like that is I feel like that's a part of music that's missing. I know Ray Daniels has talked about us missing a lot of the gatekeepers. Bryce says, I say I work with Magnetos. You crazy. But this is what Ray Daniels meant when he said we need gatekeepers. And I've been talking to a few folk. I can't wait to tell y'all who I'm talking to because we got something dope coming up. Very dope. Reggie, I got to tell you too. Probably later on today or tomorrow. I got to tell you about it though. But there are so many other things that's missing to make music business be accountable for the art. We've just hold ourselves out. We don't think that the art is worth nothing. And I'm going to tell you how I know you don't think the art is worth nothing. You come in somebody's studio, you say, hey, man, let me just put the beat on, bro. Let me go vibe out. Let me smoke for a little bit. I think I got it. Then you're going to get in the booth. You're going to rap 2 bars, and you're going to come out the booth and say, yeah, that was hard. Play that back. No, there is nothing to play back, you mother effer. Please get out of the studio. Get your BA out my... Yo, I can't stand when artists come in and try to do that. Like, but this is the thing. Looking at that Diddy doc, and looking at how labels move and the whole writing camp situations, y'all think that this is like a college, this is like a college school outing. Like, that's how y'all treat this stuff. Y'all treat it like, oh, yo, I would just. No, when it's people like me that's been in business for so long and you put so much energy into it, you take it serious. You can have fun. You still have fun doing what you do. But if you've taken, what's that? Am I almost 2 decades? That's crazy. I started, my first placement was 2007. So I got one more year and I've been in the business for 20 years. 20 years. Why would I play with you? Why would I play with you? And this is the stuff that I think a lot of the legacy producers and everybody just start getting tired of. Just like, yeah, I don't want to do this. But anyway, back to the Puff. We talked about Dirty Money. We talked about the MTV Viacom deal. He took the check. Went and did his own thing, did the Dirty Money situation. The whole Cassie thing transpired in between that. I don't even... At first, I ain't gonna front. Again, I told y'all at the beginning of this pod during pre-show, I'm gonna walk back a lot of the stuff that I said. I've said some stuff that after watching this doc, I view it a little bit differently. All right, so we're talking about Ryan Leslie. It's always up with Ryan Leslie too. He's always a no-go in my book. Me and Ryan got some straightening out to do. Ryan, you already know. Hit me up. Anyway. Mother effer. This mother effer, right? So, yo, when people vex your spirit, you be like, F this mother effer forever. Forever. F them. Anyway, I think those would be the only, hold on, is that it? I think those are the only 3 people that's always up in my book: Ryan Leslie, J. Cole, Jim Jones. I ain't got nobody else. Everybody else I'm pretty cool with. But Ryan Leslie, Jim Jones, J. Cole. In no particular order. But all of those people, I think it's when you, okay, all right. Let me break it down from my perspective being in music business. I told y'all about the session I did with Puff, right? Told y'all about that. Around, or a little bit before that, I had a situation where I produced a single for Jim Jones. I produced a song called Blow the Bank for Jim Jones. It was his second single off of the Pray for Rain album. And maybe I shouldn't even have an issue with Ryan Leslie. Maybe I should walk that back even. Now that I'm older and I can view it from a different perspective, maybe Ryan Leslie is not my issue. Maybe it's Sony. Maybe it's just Jim. But what happened was, all of the stuff that y'all see in this doc, me being from North Carolina and seeing things from a business but a little bit of country perspective, I always looked at folk funny. I always looked at people funny. Like, what happened with me, Jim, Ryan Leslie, it came time, that was my first big placement, my first major placement that was on Sony. What up, Big West? But that was my first placement on Sony. I'm talking to Jim. And we had to run Jim down to get paid. Jim, listen, I love your growth, but back then you was straight trash. I'm talking about Jim Jones. You was trash back then. We walked through a hotel. Shouts out to Big Sean Glitter Arm. Glitter Arm was over there. Dipset. You know, he took me over to the hotel that was in Greensboro. I went over. It was like the 4th floor or something like that. They had the whole joint smoked out. Went through the hotel room. Jim Jones opens the door. Again, this is my first placement. Jim Jones opens the door, and Sean walks in. He's like, yo, bro, you owe my boy some bread, Jim? Jim looks at me up and down, says nothing, proceeds to roll up. And then Sean's like, yo, we need to handle that. We need to get that straightened out. This is a good dude. Jim said, all right, bet. That was the only words that came up. And then they went to the club later on that night and did all this stuff. I ended up getting paid about 2 weeks later after that exchange. That's what let me know that the business was what the business was. Street niggas run the business. That taught me everything I need to know as far as the black side, right? Now when we talk about dealing with the white boy, and I don't even like to do this, But when we talking about me working with Eminem and we talking about all of that stuff, it's a whole different thing. Who reaches out to me to work for Eminem? We talking about I be forgetting the producer name. God dang. Alchemist. Shouts out to Alchemist. Hold on, let me give him a clap because I took too long. And I respect the people that put me on. I just respect people like that. I just do. But if it wasn't for Alchemist reaching out to Havoc and then Havoc reaching back out to Alchemist and us getting the placement with Eminem, that's a whole different. After that part happened, it was all business. We talking split sheets. We talking universals. We getting our munions. We getting our munions back to back. We good with the bread, right? But look at the caliber of the artist. I'm looking at how Puff, Ryan Leslie, and all of them came to the table with Cassie. I feel like Cassie's folks should not have trusted any of them as much as they did. And that's me being a girl dad. I feel like her folks should have been like, all right, nah, we ain't gonna let it, nah. I like what you're doing. You're a good singer, but you want her to come to New York to do what? We're gonna be there. We'll be there. We'll be at every session. Because this is a prime example of when somebody, and this is no slight to Cassie, but Cassie had no chance of really being an artist when that transaction and that exchange happened. She had no chance of being an artist. I could see, if you look at the documentary, it's a particular clip where Puff is in the driver's seat and he got Dirty Money sitting on the outsides of Cassie. Cassie's sitting in the middle of the truck. Or I think Cassie's sitting in the middle of the Jeep. I felt so bad for that girl. Because this is something that I realized. And like I said, I have to even walk back some of the stuff that I said. Because I was like, man, she knew she would get smashed for that cash. Well, she knew. I said that. I personally said that. Now seeing things from this perspective, she ain't never had no chance. That girl ain't never. As soon as Puff sunk his teeth in that girl, she was the love sex slave, period. She ain't had no chance of being an artist. Because this is something else. If you notice, and y'all do the timelines, Cassie was hot as fish grease when she did it. Tell me when you like it. That album was fire. The Cassie album was, as a producer and as a person that formerly hated Ryan Leslie. See, I'm growing. I formerly hated Ryan Leslie. It still might be up though, cause you took my slot. Look, how Ryan Leslie get on the music video of the song that I produced? Who do that? Who does that? Who does that? You want us? And this is why it's always been up for Ryan Leslie. I went back and forth with Sony, Jim Jones, Dipset, all of them for months. And they was like, yeah, man, this is your first big placement. We can't wait for you to come up to New York, be in the music video. It's going to be fire. Music video gets shot. I never get any updates. When the music video comes out, and y'all go look at it. It's on YouTube right now. Music video comes out. They got Ryan Leslie on the song that I produced. And then his song is tagged at the very end of the video. I said, this mother effer. This mother. Let me smack him in his face. But, yes, Cassie had no chance. She ain't had no chance. And I'm about to run out of time. It's a lot more stuff. I got like a page worth of notes. Something else is, and I guess I just talk about some of the stuff that stuck out. When Kalina hit Puff up, what up, headliner, what up? When Kalina hit Puff up and said she needed $5,000, I want y'all to know this, and maybe it's just me thinking like a street nigga, and I'm not a street nigga, but I think like one. But Puff is in a hotel room. The assistant says, Puff had $5,000 in his wallet. Every day he walk around with about about $9,000. It was $9,000. Every day he walk around about $9,000, $6,000, something like that. Kalina hits him up after he asks her to be on the stand, to be an eyewitness on your behalf. And she asks you for 5 racks to handle this little business over here, and you say, yeah, I'm tied up, yo. I was this mother. I said, somebody please sit his BA down. Somebody sit his A down. Like it's just, and maybe that's just how I view things. But if you walking around at any day with $6,000 to $9,000, and your person that you asked to be on the stand to vouch for you, even though you know you've been doing some nasty work, and the fact that this mother said, "Man, I'm gonna just talk to God. God told me don't do nothing." Puff, you're not talking to God, my guy. You are talking to the devil. You are talking to Satan himself. That ain't God. That is not God. That is not God. Did God tell you to lace? Did God tell you to lace the baby oil with the BHP? What is it? GHD? GHB? What is it? Did God tell you to do that too? Like I'm so disappointed. I'm so disappointed. But anyway, what was y'all's thoughts? With all the people that watched the doc, what were y'all thoughts? Bright said, the Dark Lord. That man was talking to the demons, man. I'm like, nah, man. And something else that stuck out. He kept going after other dudes' girls so he could smash them, boss them up, and then publicize how he smashed their girls. But then, this is when the other stuff was crazy. This is the other stuff that was crazy. You got mad and you tried to coach Big into going back and forth with Pac for smashing his girl. But you've been doing this for the past 10, 15 years. So I was just like, This is, Let me see what you said. He was an escape artist for real. Yeah, I agree. And again, now looking at this doc, the way it's been framed, I at first I said Puff didn't get enough time. At first I said Puff wouldn't get enough time. But now I feel like he did not get enough. I mean, at first I said he got enough time. I thought the time was a little excessive because he was just being a freak. So I thought. He's just being a freak. I didn't put all of the dots together. Like, now after putting these dots together, I feel like he need to sit down a little bit longer. Size 444, what up? You say, is it over for Diddy? Does he have work again? I don't think it's ever over for Puff. I don't think it's ever going to be over for Puff. Reason being, he has so much leverage and he has so much dirt and he has so much footage and so many stories on all these other people. Those people, because he has all of those people in the pocket, those people are not going to allow him to go down but so far. That's what I think. Also, when you reach a certain level of rich, it's just like, I think, because I had a financial advisor come over to the Patreon to speak. Make sure you join the Patreon. It's free. Join the Patreon. But I had a financial advisor come over to Patreon. I think he said it was like $1 million. It's either $1 million or is it $10 million? One of them. But after a certain amount of money that you invest, it's going to always spill over a certain amount of interest. So you're never going to go broke. After you do that, you're never going to go broke. Like, it's just like you got money built in that's just collecting interest over time. So money-wise, I think Puff will always be good. I do think that the public perception of all of this stuff that's going on now, especially after this Netflix situation, I think it's up. I think him in the industry is up. And this is something else. Looking at the Ciroc deal, I look at it in a whole different light now. Again, he kept taking the check. This mother effer kept taking the check. And what I mean by taking the check is this. When you take the check from a company like a Ciroc, or you take a check from somebody like I can't say ABC. That's kind of like a legacy. That's like a legacy company. let's do the making the band stuff. We'll do making the band stuff. And I feel like, and I have to fact check it. Anybody that's watching this on playback, y'all can fact check me. I'm cool with it. Y'all just let me know. Let me know what y'all find. But the way I'm thinking it happened, he didn't have no real equity in the shows, the MTV shows. I feel like they paid him to be the character on the show. They paid him a lot. They paid him a hell of a boatload of money to be the character of the show. But what happens in content world, and we talked about this about a few weeks ago, anytime you do a song, anytime you create a show, anytime you do anything intellectual property, books, TV shows, music, art, right? Intellectual property. Anytime that stuff is present, each body of work is a business. Each body of work is a business. Case in point, this is why I do 50-50 splits with the artists unless they buy me out. This is why I do 50-50 splits, because guess what? I don't know that your brand is going to actually execute and it be a good stock in the near future, or I don't know if you're going to do something stupid and then everybody start following you, and then they find the music that I produce from you as a result of you doing the stupid thing. So now that stock rose. Well, guess what? If I just sold you the beat, like I just finished doing in November, if I just sold you the beat for $100 and you go and do $1 million, why would I be okay with the $100? That's what a lot of the artists were doing. I feel like on a big level, that's what Puff was doing. He was just getting paid. Ciroc said, look, you know what? You deliver and you sell this amount of bottles of Ciroc, then we're going to give you $100 million. Puff saw the $100 million instead of seeing the opportunity that was behind the $100 million. Right? Puff, I'll say it again for the people in the back of the class. Puff saw the $100 million as the opportunity, like that was the $100 million was the thing instead of the opportunity behind the $100 million. The opportunity behind the $100 million would have told me, okay, if right now you're willing to pay me $100 million to promote your brand, I'm about to go stupid, because you wouldn't be coming to me if you knew I didn't produce. So being that you want to give me $100 million, instead of $100 million, how about we do an equity split? So you give me $50 million, and then the other $100 million, whatever the stock was, or the before y'all go public, let me get that stock, and then when y'all go public, then I have some shares in the business. That's what 50 did. Those are the deals that 50 do. 50 does. Say it the right way. Those are the deals that 50 does. Right? Case in point, same type of concept. You look, it's the exact same type of concept. Same concept. He did want ownership, but they ain't give it to him. They ain't give. So equity is. Did he? He never got it though. I'm talking to Home Coffee. I don't think he ever got the ownership, because that's what the complaint was with. Was it DeBrazio? Brazio? I don't know the name of the dude. All right. Let me know. I don't think he ever got it. But 50 on the vitamin water thing, think about what 50 did. 50 got some pieces of the vitamin water. When they sold, he got paid out. Only business. Only bonuses. Yep. Oh my God. Artists. Artists. Home Coffee looked it up. He only got bonuses. And see, this is the thing, and that's why I said every time Puff, anytime, and this is the thing, and this is why I think all of us love Puff. We love the resilience, we love the larger than life character that's out front, that's fearless, that's always gonna charge and gonna take the bull by the horns and make the itch happen. He's a real black wolf of Wall Street. Like we saw, that's how we view Puff. Like he's one of our winners. So the fact that you do stuff like this and you never had real equity plays, now this is why, and again, I'm going to always be for the artists. I'm going to always be for the creative people. But this is why he kept doing what he was doing to the artists. This is why he was doing what he was doing with the artists. if you start to acquire a lifestyle, and I'm gonna try to make it real simple. If you right now make $40,000 to $60,000 a year, you make $40,000 to $60,000 a year right now, right? And at first, when you started making a $40,000, you got a little car, you got a decent little apartment. You started doing these. You going to Target a little bit more, going to Starbucks a little bit more, or home coffee. You're going to these places a little bit more, spend a little bit more money, and then incrementally, you're starting to say, okay, well now I can live up to 50,000. Now I can live up to 60,000. What happens when you go from 40 to 60 to 300,000 to 500,000 to $1 million annually? You start, I think sometimes the growth happens way faster than our developmental space. We don't develop on the same pace as where the money is. So this is why I thank God that I have not made the 10 million, 20 million just yet. I thank God because, well, I deserve it now. But if I would have made 10, 20 million dollars 20 years ago, I would not have been in a mature space to see how money works. The coldest thing that I've ever learned when I started dealing with a lot of my Caucasian friends is the way, and I can't say Caucasian friends because all my Caucasian friends ain't rich, but a few of them are, right? What I started learning with them is the way they view money is always a tool. They never make the money the thing. The money is always a tool. The money provides us the opportunity to go do another family vacation. The money provides the opportunity to go get my tooth worked on if it's cracked. The money is it's always a tool to do something with it. With my somewhat successful black friends, I say somewhat successful because I think a lot of them are still in that mentality space. But a lot of my black friends see the money as the thing instead of the money as the tool. Yeah, bro, I need to go ahead and stack this, bro. I need to go ahead and get this check. I need to go ahead and okay, you're gonna get the money, but then after you get the money, what you gonna do? What are you doing with the money? Like, and those are the conversations I hope that I can promote on this show and make people think a little bit differently, because it's relevant that everybody is just going for the check. They're aiming to take the check. Whenever you take the check, you're shortchanging yourself, right? And this is why I jokingly say stuff in my stories, or when I go live, I jokingly say stuff like, all right, you don't want to tap in. Right now it's only $20. Right now it's only $10. When you know that you're going to do the work, and you know that all of your intentions are pure, and when you know that you're going to bust and develop relationships with the people that know how to do way bigger than you, I would watch those people. I watch those type of people, and I invest in those type of people, because at some point, everybody saw Elon Musk doing the hustle. Everybody saw Elon Musk. They said, "Oh, this mother crazy. You putting all of your money back into." So you just sold the company, and you're gonna put all of the money that you just made. You're gonna put it into electric cars. We drive gas, bro. We still drive. We drive gas. Think about it. Think about it. I always look for the people that's quiet and that's not afraid to be different. That's not afraid to be looked at as the weirdos. I love those people. The people that take chance after chance after chance. Now I ain't talking about that dame. I ain't talking about them Dame Dash chances. them Dame Dash chances. I'm like, all right, bro. At some point, you gotta chill out, bro. You gotta chill. Now I'm investing everything I make is going back into the I love you, Dame. But I believe in going behind the people that know how to get stuff done, right? And I wish I had more time because I got way more notes with this whole Puff stuff. The Lil Rod, listen, all right, I'm gonna end with Lil Rod. The fact that Lil Rod, and I don't know him either. I don't know him. But let this, all my new producers, all my new singers, songwriters, let this be a lesson to you. This is a lesson. The Lil Rod situation or the Lil Rod story has been the story in the music industry for years and years and years beyond, right? The Lil Rod story has been repeated over and over. What's the Lil Rod story? I'm glad you asked. This is a Lil Rod story. So Lil Rod said he went to the writing camp in, I think it was in Miami. Lil Rod went and did, and this is on the documentary, right? And the funny thing is, some of these writing camps I've been invited to, I just be like, Then the manager hit me up. Nito, man, this is one in a lifetime chance. Go ahead down there and rock out. Nah, I'm good. I'm good. I've heard some things. But the Lil Rod situation, Lil Rod is a super talented producer. He is phenomenal, right? He's like me. He plays all the instruments, and he can visually go there musically. But he got sold the dream. Music industry knows how to sell dreams back to back to back. And this is where I feel like we have to start looking into things a little bit deeper. If somebody has you come out to a studio session and you're in the studio, you're in their studio first off. And this is why I barely leave this is my studio right here that I'm in. I barely leave this place because it is a safety hazard. It is a safety feature. Whenever you go to somebody else's studio, and I'm not, this is not no shade to the studio. This is just how the business works. Whenever you go to somebody else's studio, you go to Patchwork, you can go anywhere, and you produce the music in their studio. Where are those files? Just tell me that. Where are the session files that you produce in their studio? It's in their studio. It's in their studio. So when Lil Rod said that he was in the studio with the writing camp and they were making all of these songs, y'all, I don't think y'all really understand how music works. When it comes to music business, and this is, I pray to God I'm giving y'all some type of sauce. I pray to God I'm giving y'all just some type of insight. When it comes to music, the value of music never changes. Well, it rarely goes down. I'll say that. I know a lot of people that hear me talk about investing into stock and investing into ETFs, investing into real estate. A lot of y'all see me do this. I've shown receipts of me doing this stuff. What y'all don't understand about music is all you got to do, and most of y'all say, all you need is one hit. Nigga, you need one. No, don't even look at the hit. Don't focus on the hit. Focus on building the catalog. So say you got a catalog of a few records, right? And this is why a lot of people, i.e. T-Pain, he said, yo, I kicked myself in the butt because the joint went viral, and this month said I made so much money off of you. Just imagine, come with me, this is the world that I live in. Just imagine if every song that you do makes money while you're producing it. Imagine that. You go live, and everybody on Patreon, this is why I appreciate y'all, and this is exactly why I offer free tiers too. As soon as I go live, my tribe and the people that I rock with is in the live on Patreon, see me cooking the beat, and they say, yo, this mother, he rocking out. And hopefully, after I get off of the live, they go turn their keyboards on, they drum machines on, and they go cook up some beats. But guess what? That live was monetized off the rip. Now, I have the ability to actually offer those beats to my community, or I got the ability to shop them to a 50, or shop them to an Eminem, or shop them to whoever. I have those relationships. I have the ability to do that. But guess what? That one live can generate how many other opportunities just from creating the music? So now, go back. You monetize on the front end with the live. You go in, produce a joint. This artist picks the beat up. You just did a 50-50 split with the artist. Now you got some equity in the artist's estate. Because what you look at, think about it. You look at Michael Jackson, you look at Prince, you look at the estate. You look at the Off the Wall album. You talk about Off the Wall album being in the Michael Jackson, in the Jackson estate. It's not just a freaking song. So the fact that y'all have diminished music to the point where you just like, yo, I'm gonna just go out here and just, y'all niggas ain't singing, y'all not trying to produce nothing, y'all just doing stuff. These things that we're doing has value if you treat it like it's valuable. If you treat it like it's a slut, then it's gonna be a slut. You ain't gonna. That's how it works. So everybody that's going to these, top of London, what up, boy? Everybody that's going to these different writing sessions, I commend y'all. I applaud y'all for everything that y'all doing. But think about how your estate's gonna be looking in the back end. If you just doing all these records and you producing in these other Negro studio, they have every right to say, well, nah, you did this in my studio, so I ain't give you nothing. And they can release, they got the session stems, they got everything. Now you're going to be going back and forth with a Negro trying to sue them on the back end. You I ain't never get paid. This is how that stuff happens. Artists, y'all got to, producers, y'all got to figure out a way to fail proof the stuff that y'all got going on. If you can't fail proof it, then just stop. Y'all making it look nasty. Y'all making the industry look nasty. Y'all making people think that art is supposed to be broke. Y'all making people think that all of these predatory deals supposed to be normal. That ain't normal. That ain't normal. I broke the code. I figured it out. I was like, all right, that's what y'all doing. Oh, look, all it took me was a few major placements. I said, oh, that's what y'all doing? Bet. I'm good on that. Y'all got that. Y'all have to be okay with not running after the accolades too. I've coached a few producers, especially going into 2026, and I got one more mastermind coming up at the end of this month, right after Christmas. So if y'all want to tap in, come to Patreon, tap in. But I coached a few producers a few weeks ago, and I talked about this on one of my lives. But I was telling them what y'all have to start looking at is, in the world, what is your main threat right now? What is the main thing that's happening right now that's going to take money out of your pocket? Physically and literally take money out of your pocket. They was just looking at me like I was crazy. Bro, I mean, nigga, Nito, bro, what you mean? Like, I said, all right. The main thing right now that's happening that's going to take money out of everybody's pocket, including yours, is AI. If you look at something that could take the money out of your pocket, I would study that thing. I would study it like it's the enemy. I would keep it close like it's the enemy too. I would start figuring out how to utilize it. Because guess what? At some point, they're going to treat that joint like the mafia. And I would hate to be the person that's sitting down in the back of the room crying, talking about how you ain't getting paid your publishing. You crying, talking about how ain't nobody giving you no opportunities. You crying saying, oh, bro, ain't nobody trying to support me. Ain't nobody looking at my lives. Ain't nobody. Do the hard work up front, man. Do the hard work up front. Hopefully y'all enjoyed today's show. Got a little bit of housekeeping, got a couple bills to pay. Everybody that's watching this on YouTube, make sure you join. If you're in the live, join the Patreon. It's free. You can join right now for free. The only thing that starts to cost is if you actually want to participate in some of the stuff I'm doing. I told you I was working on an album with independent artists. We've been weeding out some of the verses that we like. Those artists will get split sheets and will get paid off of every dollar that we generate from the album, because I'm not like Puff. Something else, I got new merch that's dropping on the Patreon, so new merch will be uploaded later on today. We got the varsity jackets, we got the Lucrative Producer hats, we got the No More Poverty Music shirts, and we got Lucrative Music Festival stuff coming up soon. So everybody that just want to get down, holla at me, man. Come through. We're gonna be having a lot of fun. Hopefully y'all enjoyed today's show, and I'll see y'all next week. All right, peace.